Hi everyone, this is Tanya, and in my previous videos I have gone through the Learning to Read program from Christian Light Education. If you haven't seen that video, it's probably best to start with that one. Go to my channel, Hand in Hand Homeschool, and have a look at that one. And I go through the program quite extensively and also show some of the resources that the Learning to Read program comes with, and it is available. So today we're going to go through an actual lesson from the beginning to end with my daughter Whitney.
Hi, I'm Whitney.
And she is 7.
Yes,
Now, it's important to let you know that we are homeschoolers.
We are.
And Whitney can read. But we've decided to go back to the basics and make sure that she has any gaps filled. I basically felt that her fluency had a little bit of fluency issues. She could read, her comprehension was quite good, but I just felt that I needed to go back and make sure we had everything covered. So I was looking for a program for ages and ages and ages, and we found this one, and so far we're having a great time with it.
Yes, we are. It's amazing.
So first thing we do before we start is we go through the sounds and the flashcards that she's already learnt from her previous lessons. I think we're in lesson 5 at the moment. Here's our dog Bo.
Yeah.
Who
Say
wants
hi,
to be
Bobo.
who wants to be in on the video.
Hi.
So we're going to go through with Whitney the sounds that we've already covered and the flashcards, just as a bit of review. So, Whitney, can you tell me what this one is?
D for duck.
Yes.
That's D.
And this one?
For monkey.
Yep.
For sun.
Yep. Okay. Whitney was also having a little bit of confusion with some of the letters. So she had a tiny bit of a regression over the long break, which is why I also decided to kind of go back, start from scratch. She started her, I guess, learning to read story at school when we pulled her out. So I wasn't exactly sure what they had and had not covered. So that is another reason why we decided to start a new program from basics, basically. And we can go as fast as we like and slow as we like. So that's really good. You can go as slow as you want for those who know nothing about reading at all, which is what I'll be doing with my 5-year-old after he finishes his kindergarten program from Christian Light Education. And Whitney can go as fast as she wants in this program. Okay, and here are the flashcards of the words you've learnt before. What's this one?
And many.
And this one?
Sun. And
Yep.
dew.
Yep.
Many sun and dew.
So these will essentially become almost like her flashcards or sight words. And she'll end up with a really good bank of these that she'll be able to know just from looking at and not necessarily having to sound them out, which is good for people learning in different types of ways. Not everyone learns with the same concepts as, phonics is taught. Okay, so as you maybe remember from my last video, there is an appendix letting the parent know what's going to be covered in every lesson. So we're up to lesson 5, and it tells us that we're going to be covering the sound and the picture card fish. So we are going to go to our flashcards and get out the for fish and have that ready. These are available through Christian Light Education as well, and actually quite cheap. And it tells us that we'll need the sight word card 4. So we're going to go ahead and get the word flash card 4. Okay. We're going to head to our lesson. and get to lesson 5 in Winnie's workbook. Here we go. So as you can see, the teacher's guide shows exactly where the child will be at in their own workbook. Okay, so the great thing about the teacher's guide is it tells you exactly what to say. So these words that are in bold tells you exactly what to say to the child. So, what is this?
A fish. But it starts with
What word begins with the f sound?
fin.
Mm-hmm.
Fin, fish, and gish.
Gish starts with a g sound.
I'm getting confused. What else starts with?
Frog
Frog, yeah, frog. Frog starts
and Frankenstein.
Yes, Frankenstein.
And what else starts with the f sound?
Frog.
Yep. Forest.
Forest, yeah, I love the forest.
Yep. Where do fish live? As I'm reading exactly what it asked me to say. Where do fish live?
They live in ponds
And?
and water.
Yeah, the ocean maybe?
Yeah, the ocean. There's lots of fishes in the ocean.
Yeah, there is, isn't there? Have you ever gone fishing?
I think it might have been this one time Dad gave me a little thing. I was trying to catch a fish, and it got a little one, and it go like up, and then smacked me in the face, and put it go back in the water.
Do you like to eat fish?
I don't really know because I only had it like 2 times.
Okay. Listen carefully for the f sound as I read you about fish. Okay? So you listen to this story. Fred and Florence found a flat rock on the bank beside First River Falls. Far out in the middle, the water flowed fast, flowing down over the rocks. But here, leaves floated in a quiet pool, so they knew it was a fine place to fish. Ferns grew all around, and fragrance of flowers filled the air. Let's see who can catch the first fish, suggested Fred. Mother said she'd fry the first one for Father. Yes, that will be fine. I hope I win, said Florence, but you must put the worm on my hook. It always falls off for me. All right, I will. Find me a big, fat one. Florence stirred in the bait can with her finger and found a fine, fat fish worm. Soon both children flung their lines into the water and sat down to wait for a fish to bite. I hear a Phoebe, said Florence for a minute. Listen. Phoebe, Phoebe, Phoebe. Do you hear it? Yes, and there goes a flicker, said Fred. You remember when Miss Fitzwater told the creation story in Sunday school? She said that birds were called fowls in the air. I always thought fowls were turkeys and chickens and geese. What I remember about that story is that God created fish and fowl both on the 5th day. Yet they are so different. Fish have fins and swim to very low places in the bottom of the ocean. Birds have wings to fly to very high places in the sky, said Florence. But there's one fish and fowl are alike, said Fred. They both eat worms. Ugh, said Florence with a frown. She made a face at the thought of eating worms. Fish are funny. They eat worms, but they don't eat honey. Yippee! I got a fish! Cried Fred suddenly. I win! He jumped up and flipped his pole backwards. A shiny fish flew over his head and fell flopping into the ferns. Okay. So then we look at this card and we say, Fish. Fish are funny. They eat worms but don't eat honey.
Honey. They would never eat honey.
Notice the way your lower lip is placed on your upper teeth when you blow out the air to make the sound. Can you practice that?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, this is our fish. Okay, now we've already done some of these penmanship activities. So Whitney is going to trace the and then she's going to attempt to do this herself. Now there is instructions as to how to tell the child to write an F, but Whitney is a little bit older, so she knows how to do that herself. So that one, yep. So she can trace the F sound, and then she can have a go on her own doing the Fs, and then she'll do the and S that she did in the previous lessons as a bit of review. Okay, go ahead. What's interesting is in this lesson there wasn't kind of some comprehension questions on that story as in our previous lessons. In our previous, while Whitney's getting that done, in our previous lessons, after the story, this is the one about Marvin the monkey, Whitney then had to answer questions about the story. So that's a really good kind of interactive comprehension exercise, and it's pretty much been in every lesson we've done so far. Some comprehension questions, but I guess this one there wasn't. This one was about the sun, and there was a big story about the sun, and then she had to answer some comprehension questions here also. But this time, I guess, see, I chose the wrong lesson, but this time for the fish story, funny fish, there is no comprehension questions. Okay. What are you doing here? Now this program is really good at getting the kids to identify the headline, the baseline and the midline, and getting them to do the letters right up to the appropriate point. Like Whitney's letters, they were beautiful but used to be a bit higgledy-piggledy, big sizes, small sizes. This is really great practice for her to practice reaching the midline on some of her letters. So she knows exactly how big they need to be. For example, in the where the cross needs to be. And what I really like is the little starting point. The kids know exactly where their pencil needs to start, because you might find some kids start from the bottom or the side, like one of my other sons. But she knows to look for the dot and start writing her letters from the dot. Okay, then Whitney's done these before, so what she needs to do is copy these dot maps, and this is really good brain training and visual discrimination skills. So Whitney, can you go ahead and do that?
I'm going to go and do it.
And the teacher's guide would tell you exactly where you need to be. You'll have a picture of the lesson, and yeah, good guide. And at the beginning of the teacher's guide, there is a big section on what dot maps.
This is a whip for Whitney.
That's true.
So I'm doing a whip.
What dot maps help with and gives you a really good guide. So they do recommend not using a ruler. It's using their free hand, and also I guess helps with pencil grip and pencil movement as well. Okay. Now it says, Now this says here, raise your hand when I say a word that begins with a f sound. Now normally I just say the word and Whitney will say if they start with a f sound or not. So are we ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Fast.
Yes.
Fin.
Yes.
Fun.
Yes.
Factory.
Yes.
For.
Yes.
Magazine.
No.
Fasten.
No. Yes.
Fan.
Yes.
Father.
Yes.
Field.
Yes.
Fight.
Yes.
Sound.
No.
Fancy.
Yes.
Dinner.
No.
Master.
No.
Feather.
Yes.
Fax.
Yes.
Missionary.
No.
Fed.
Yes.
And 5.
Yes.
Okay, so we've gone through the list here, and that really gets her to kind of use her ears and her listening skills to really try to discriminate that f sound. Okay, now it tells us we need to be on page 23, so we make sure that child's on page 23. Yep, so we're on this page now, Whitney. And we do some, first of all, we're going to do some blending fun. Hang on, let me read this. Say the name of each picture on the page. Oh yeah, okay, we've done this before. So what we need to do is we need to say the name of each of these pictures, and Whitney will write the letter that it starts with. Now it could be from the f family, it could be a it could be a s or a d. All the sounds that we've already covered in our previous lessons. And this is the teacher's guide, so you can read out to the child exactly what the picture is in case you're not sure. And also obviously gives you the answers. Okay, so Whitney, we have a fish.
So it's a...
And we have a fox.
Yes, that's that.
Another chance to practice penmanship skills, but also the sound discrimination. Fork, yep. Sometimes we get her to guess what she thinks the
Fire.
picture is. Fire, yep.
Fish.
Yes, fish.
Why do they keep on using fish?
Don't know. This one is our football.
Yes.
This one is our mirror.
Yes. But not yes for the one that we're doing today. Ooh, that's my best one.
Ooh, well done. And what's the next one?
5.
Yep.
Feather.
Mm-hmm.
Scissors.
Yep.
Oh. See what that.
She remembers now that she has to start on the baseline. Before she would have just written it any which way, but through her previous lessons, she knows that this starts at the midline. Starts at the midline. So that's why she corrected herself on that one.
Mail. Oh, I forgot. I thought it was credit card.
Mail.
That's
Yep. We've seen that picture before.
Fan.
Yep.
Monkey.
Yep, monkey. Excuse you if you can hear some videos in the background. It's trying to keep my younger son entertained.
6.
Yep, while I do this video. What's that one? Yep, fish. Once again, you can always
Why did they use
check
fish 3
the
times?
teacher's guide. They did use fish 3 times. Now, next one is...
For fist.
Yes, good thinking. That was fist. That one.
Sandbox.
Yep. Foot.
Yes, foot. Dog. This is the first one out of here.
Okay, now Winnie sometimes has trouble with the D's and the B's, and I think she just made that mistake. Yep,
Oh my god.
wrong way, which is quite age appropriate. So it's just a bit of practice.
I mean, like, they look so much the same.
I know.
It's like a person can go both ways.
Okay. And the last one is a picture of marbles.
Marbles.
Mhm.
Yes. For marbles.
Okay, so I'll just turn this around and show you exactly what Whitney's done in her first couple of pages. So basically some penmanship on the new sound that she's just learnt, concentrating on starting at the dot, going right down to the bottom line and putting the line in the appropriate spot. A review of some of the letters she did previously, the and the s, some brain training and visual discrimination skills. And this was really listening to what the words start with, and also practicing writing those letters again. Okay, now there is an activity that you do called blending fun. So Whitney, you know how to do this. What we do is we break up the words, and Whitney would tell me what they are together, what they make up together, what the big word is. I guess it gets the kids used to breaking up words, blending. So she's found it quite easy and quite fun. So we'll show you how we do it. These are a list of words, and I will go through them with Whitney right now. Okay. Monday.
Monday.
Ace.
Vase.
Boat.
Boat.
Eat.
It.
Eat.
Meat.
Meat. Yep. Eat.
Sheep.
Yep. So that was the first word that we did. Sorry. Shower.
Shower.
Bike.
Bye.
Yep. Great. House.
House.
Fat. Teeth.
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 What?
Moon. Perfect. No.
Dominoes.
Yep.
Notice.
No.
Nose.
Yep. Made.
Made.
Bone.
Bone.
Good.
Good.
Perfect. Forever.
Forever.
Perfect.
Game. Shin.
Nail.
Ain.
Nail.
Ale.
Starts with the nail. Nail. a l.
Like?
Starts with an babe. N a l.
I have no idea.
Nail.
Oh, nail!
I'm not sure why that one was so difficult. Ice.
Why?
Yep, great. So she's gone through all those words. And now it's time for the star word, which is this new one, which is for. Okay. For example, this book is for John. Well, Grandma has something for Mary. For. Can you say for?
4.
It says or.
Four.
For. What's this word?
4.
For. Can you use it in a sentence?
Yes. For a picnic, we wanted to go for a run.
Perfect. Good. Okay, now it tells us we need to be on page 24. So time to turn the page. Okay.
I never did this one.
Now this covers some of the words we've already done and the word that we're covering today. So what's this word, Whitney? These are called the star words.
4.
And this one?
Some. I mean many.
Yep, and this word?
Some.
Okay, so this is a good kind of review on the words that she's already done. So it's constantly reviewing the words that she's already covered, which is great. Okay, so it says here, what words do you see in the pink box up the top? We've already gone through that one there.
Many. This is
one.
many.
This one here.
Oh yeah. And this.
No, this one. We've already done these ones.
Oh yeah.
Keep going.
We already done these ones.
So can you say them again for me?
4.
Mm-hmm.
Many.
Mm-hmm.
Some. 4 many
Perfect.
some.
Okay. It says put a ring around the word for. So can you see another 4 in this picture?
This one.
Yep. Okay. Which word has a line under it?
Some.
Yep. Can you find the other sum and put a line under it?
Mm-hmm.
And here again is the teacher's guide giving the answers. You can cover so your child doesn't see. What will you do with the word many?
What would you do with the word many?
Yeah, this one.
You will make it a box.
Yes, perfect.
A
Good
box that
answer.
fits it.
Yep. A box has 4 straight lines and a box has 4 corners. What are the words in the box in the middle of the page?
Do for some many.
I just want to point out, although Whitney could read, she used to have to sound out every single sound. So, for example, she would normally, before we started this program a week ago, if she saw this word do, she would go do, ah. She wouldn't be able to understand that was do. If she saw for, she'd say f, for. So this is really teaching her some sight words, I guess. So already in a matter of 5 days, she can read out these words very easily that she couldn't do beforehand. I just want to get this clear that she couldn't read these words just like she could. Just then, she would have to phonetically spell them out. So that's really good that I've seen that so far. Hey,
But
that you can read those words without even having to sound them out.
I'm gonna show them.
You want to try again?
Do for some many.
Perfect. Okay. Point to the picture that shows something a child can do.
A child can do a puzzle.
Mm-hmm. Point to the picture which shows a gift for somebody.
This one.
Mm-hmm. Point to the picture which shows some fish.
This
Some
Some.
fish. Yep, good. Because last lesson we looked about some and many, didn't we?
Yeah.
So she knew that
This
that would
is
be
many
some fish
fish.
and that would be many fish. Yep, so she's already learnt that and remembered that. Point to the picture which shows many fish. Which you've already done, haven't you?
Yeah, this one.
Use your ruler to draw a line from each word to the correct picture. I think we've got a ruler here, but that's okay. You can just do it freehand. That's really not the important bit. So do you want to match them up to the pictures?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
This is many and this is some. Do I connect them?
Yep, no, you connect the word, like connect the word
Yes.
with the picture. So do. Girl doing something. Yep. Once again, giving those answers.
Some and many.
Okay, great. And that tells us we still need to be on page 24, which we are, page 24. Constantly telling you where you need to be. It's really hard to kind of get lost here. Look at the bottom of the page.
I can see that.
Can we see? This is our teacher's guide here. God not only made fish on the 5th day, he also made fowl. Now, fowl is kind of a type of bird, Whitney.
Okay.
On the 5th day, God made fish and fowl. Fowls are birds. See the fish and the bird? Can you see the fish and the bird?
Yeah, I can see.
Where's the fish?
Fish here.
And the fowl?
Here.
Yeah, they all start with f, don't they?
Maybe that's why they made them on the same day.
Of course they did. Bit clever, isn't it? There is a ring around the fish. Do you see some more pictures of fish?
Yeah.
Put a ring around each fish.
And you put around a square each fowl.
Yep, that's right.
Okay. Fish. Fowl.
So just some fun, not too heavy kind of work.
Fish. Fowl.
Not too, too much busy work.
Fowl. Fish. Fowl. Fish.
Okay, so you've done that one. Let's have a look at your page. Okay. Right, now, I've just noticed that we're coming to a light unit test. Ooh, it's already after 5 pages. So,
Ooh,
that will be interesting.
Fun.
Basically some of the same activities that she's already kind of done. She's done lots of visual discrimination stuff before. It wasn't in this lesson, but I'll show you in some other lessons. Here she had to identify the one that was different in the lot, which was quite tricky because some of them are,
This was the only hard one for me.
yeah, they're only minute details in some of them. This one, she had to join the ones that looked the same. There was 2 that were the same. This one she had to identify the different one. So, the teacher's guide also gives extra activities that you can do if you want. See, all of that was only 30 minutes, well, less than 30 minutes because I was explaining about the program, the teacher's guide beforehand, and that was one lesson. So as you can see, 20 to 30 minutes, it's really quite achievable to fit that in a day and continue doing other homeschool activities. And this is really good, these little light unit tests for any moderators. If you're in Australia, you can show the moderators these tests and show progression.
Are we doing the test tomorrow? That little one?
If you like.
Yeah, I think we might because it's close to the ones we
Just
we
did. Yeah.
So I think so.
Okay. So, and then what happens after this test? We go to lesson 6. Okay. Is this the, just trying to, okay. All right. So,
This would be like a fifth art pencil.
okay, so any last words? How do you feel about the Learn to Read program?
It's really cool and an easy way to learn.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys, for watching, and we will update you further along we get when we get to the point where we read the readers that are included. Also, watch my previous video about them, and I'll take a good look at them and show you where the kids start reading from and where they end up at the end of the program. Thanks, guys, for watching, and we'll keep you updated. Bye.
Bye.